reading that book while I'm talking to millennials. I'm going to get him right up here. The manager of the Chicago Cubs. Everybody put your hands together for Joe Maddon. I got this champagne shake down path now. Cheers to that, by the way. All Joe does is go to the playoffs and spin it. That's all it is. Right? Good stuff. Isn't it? Yeah, that's a nice bottle. Thank you, Kevin. Over there. Joe, you look fabulous, man.
It's sweet of you. Thank you.
You're like Benjamin Button.
I'm trying. That's my goal. Jay and I have had a good winter so far. We've did a little traveling. Season got abruptly stopped in October, so we had extra time. Went over to Europe for a little bit, did a little bit of European vacation.
Where'd you go over there?
We started in Germany, and then went to Austria, and eventually to
Austria.
In Austria?
Well then, good night.
Not Australia, no. Austria. See, that's the big thing. They got all kinds of T-shirts. There's no kangaroos in Austria.
Yes. Arnold Schwarzenegger is from Austria.
That's correct. Yes. Okay. So we did that, and then eventually went over to Italy, the Tuscany region, right below Siena. Understand Brunello wine's a lot better right now, so we had a great time.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, you're always good about making adjustments on the fly, so I wasn't worried about you like something bad was going to happen. I knew you'd make the best out of it.
Of course.
That's kind of what you do, though. You make the best out of the situation, and you teach the guys to make the best out of it.
Well, listen, it was a tough ending to the season last year, but regardless, there was a lot of good things that still did occur. If you look back retrospectively to the year, a lot of guys had a fabulous year, and I just looking at Hobbyson over there, he was pretty good last year, wasn't he?
Yes.
And not only him, I mean, listen, I'm the glasses half full kind of a guy, always have been that person. There was a lot of good stuff to take away from last season. The ending was not what we were looking for. The other team played pretty good at the end of the year. But when you run into a situation like that, you regroup, which we've been doing. We've had some wonderful meetings, a lot of planning going into next year already. So sometimes you need a kick in the butt like that to get you back on track. It's something we never want to have happen to us again, but it did. But don't overlook all the good stuff that has occurred now. That's a 95-win season. That's 97 average wins over the last 4 years. 4 straight years to the playoffs, 1 World Series, 3 LCSs. Come on, folks, we'll take that.
You always talk about, kind of appreciating the moment and enjoying the ride, the journey along the way. And I think, that is something that is super powerful. And I think that these guys don't take for granted. We're lucky to have that out of you as a leader, running the team, to be able to do that and kind of preach that message, because it can be frustrating to say, what do we need to do? But we do have the pieces in-house to be able to go back out there and go to another World Series.
Yeah, please understand that. Everybody's concerned about who we're not signing this winter. Just really realize all the good people you already have in place. That's really understand that. Again, breaking down last season, we pitched really well. We caught the ball really well. We ran the bases really well. We ran into a little bit of a buzzsaw hitting-wise towards the end of the year. However, you got a lot of really good young players, young athletes on this team that are just approaching their prime. Their work ethic is spectacular, and there's a lot to look forward here. So you always be careful what you wish for sometimes. I prefer the group that we have. I'm really eager to get to spring training already, working with them. We've already, like I said, established some, I think, really good planning in the off season. So really appreciate what you have sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. One thing you do have, and you just talked about going to spring training and getting out to spring training, and I love talking about this because I love RVs. You have Cousin Eddie, and you're going to make your trip out there. Do you have a stop? Where's Joe Maddon? Where are Jay and Joe stopping somewhere along the way that you're super excited for and that we can all go at the same time you're going there?
Good. I've never been to Austin. That's
Nice.
ridiculous. Never been to Austin, Texas.
Wow, you've never been to Austin?
Never. I worked in the Texas League for 2 years, managed in Midland, Texas, drove all over that state, and that is a big old state right there. You get into Beaumont, you see the sign saying El Paso, 900 miles away, man. It's very discouraging. But I want to get to Austin. The other place, you ever heard of Marfa, Texas? Marfa? Did you ever hear that? Have you been to Marfa? It's a little enclave, West Texas, in the middle of nowhere, that's turned into this artistic community. A lot of folks from back east with a couple bucks have gone out there and kind of made it a groovy little town. That's a place I'd like to get to also, but the first one would be Austin is the place I got to get to.
Nice. And this off season, I saw it again through, we're so lucky because social media keeps us very attached to the great things that people are doing. Your charity that you do puts on incredible fundraisers and does tremendous work for Hazleton.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that and what you guys and what the next venture is for Joe Maddon. Last year, you did amazing things with bringing the art back into the game of baseball and the money that was raised. And what's next for Joe Maddon's Foundation?
Well, the one thing that's really near and dear to my heart, and Jay also, is the Hazleton Integration Project in my hometown. I grew up there, obviously, several years ago, and right around 2000, 2005, there was a large immigration of Hispanics, primarily from the Dominican Republic. And at that time, a lot of disconnect between the locals and the folks that had moved in. And then Jay and I went back. Just got a text from today. He's in Spain. He texted me from Spain today. Anyway, I've got this strong affinity to the Latin culture. So in my hometown, I was really concerned that the city would die if we did not absorb properly and understand how important these people were to the renaissance of our city. So we developed the Hazleton Integration Project, where we're trying to really have the cultures understand one another. So we began in 2010, and it's really made a lot of headways. We won 2 national awards last year, the Atlantic Renewal Award last spring training, and this past fall, I don't know the specific name of it, but it's out of DC, an immigration award, and it's primarily based on the unique ways we're trying to bring groups together. So this is working in my hometown in Hazleton, PA. And it's something that, it's really germane throughout the United States right now. It's something that we wanted to be at the forefront, so if other small communities needed some kind of understanding or help, how to get this rolling, that we would be able to help other groups. So we're at that point right now, so we got that going on. Thanks was the other night, 2 nights ago, was it last night? We had a thanks was at St. Leonard's Ministry.
Last night.
That was last night. Oh my God.
You look great though. Your memory's going, but you look great.
But it's a ministry for recently released convicts, and we get in there, and the place was a cozy kind of place, but the people there, the clientele, were absolutely amazing, very kind, and one of the gentlemen spoke on his history, and he had me crying. He had me up there crying, and he was really relating to us and to the Cubs, and we mean to the community, and when it means to them, he's actually grew up a Cardinal fan, and now the guy loves the Cubs. So this happened last night. So all this different work that we're doing, and really, it puts things in perspective. The one thing I pray for on a daily basis is that perspective is not sent my way. I always want to be in advance of perspective. So when you do things like this, it does keep you grounded. It does keep your focus in the right areas. So the things, the Respect 90 Foundation, my beautiful wife Jay sitting over there, she's very prominent in that. All the things that we do, the umbrella of Respect 90 continues to grow.
Yeah, he does absolutely amazing things with your charity, and you set the way for the guys on the team. Rizzo's got a foundation. Schwarber does things. So many players. I know I'm forgetting guys, but so many guys do so much charity work through ownership all the way down. It trickles down, and I think it's absolutely tremendous.
Well, it starts with Cub Charities and the Ricketts family. They provide a lot of assistance for us. It's really, when you come into this organization, it's very obvious how giving the entire group is. And so when Jay and I came, it was very easy for us to assimilate into this culture off the field, which is really important to the success of any organization in any city, is that we get involved with you and you get involved with us. And it really, that kind of a bond. Listen, we play in all different cities throughout the United States and all different ballparks. I'm here to tell you, there's no better group of fans than you folks, and there's no better emphasis than we do.
looking in today's game, there's so many young, exciting players. There really are. I know everybody talks about the 3 true outcomes, the strikeout, the walk, or the home run. But there's so much more to it. And present team excluded.
Right.
When you look around baseball, who are some of the young players that you watch and you're like, wow, I would buy a ticket any day of the week to go watch that guy?
Well, I love Arenado. I liked him the first time. I think when I was still with the Rays, he broke in on the first game I saw him play. Mike Trout, if you guys get ever see Mike Trout play, Mike Trout is a really special player. And I can still talk about other groups, but don't look any further than right there on the corner of Waveland and Clark out there. Our group is pretty special. It really is. Sometimes things that happen right in front of your face, you overlook. But you have a young core group right here that's blossoming together. And I've been involved in some pretty good groups. I've been doing this for a bit. The Angel group that I had in California won the World Series in 2002. That was a really special group. And then I had some nice groups with Tampa Bay. But this one is different. Combination of ability, character, the interaction within the group is entirely different. And then again, like I'm saying, listen, I'm not just saying this to try to garner applause. You guys are difference makers. We go to that ballpark every day, and there's 40,000. A couple years ago, my first year here, we played a makeup game with Cleveland on a Monday at 1 o'clock, and there's 40,000 of you folks there. And listen, that really blows you away. When you're sitting in the dugout and you get that kind of response and reaction from the group, that absolutely blows you away. Plus, you are the adrenaline providers. You guys really provide the adrenaline on those days that it's a little bit more difficult, and Dempster knows exactly what I'm talking about. So all these things interact. All these things are important to make us the organization we are today and into the future.
Absolutely. I want to talk about a moment that happened last year, and we're going to have him up later. Maybe I'll get his perspective too, so we can kind of tie it all in. Ben Zobrist got thrown out of a game.
Wow. So
and I love Phil Cousy, nice gentleman. You know, he's Italian. He has a really strong personality.
Yeah,
like, I got to throw you out of the game right now. You know.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
What did you say to Phil when you went out there and decided that you wanted to join Ben?
Okay, you all know Ben Zobrist, right? And there's one real easy argument with an umpire in a circumstance or situation like that. I went out and I said, Phil, do you realize that you just kicked Ben Zobrist out of a baseball game? What does that say about you? And I wanted, and he didn't get the humor in that. You know, he really did not. I thought he would smile. I've known him for 100 years.
He's like, you talking to me?
You talking to me, big guy, right? So we went back and forth, and anytime an umpire gets the hair raised up on the back of his neck over Ben Zobrist, he's the guy that deserves the final in that situation.
Yeah, exactly. How do you? I always kind of wondered, and I played forever, and I never asked, but you know, like you and Joe Joe and the other Joe, Cowboy Joe, have a lovely relationship. It's beautiful. You and Joe West, by the way, for anybody who was talking about it. But how do you navigate that when you go out there and you get into it with them? Is the next day when you're introducing lineup cards like, hey, how was dinner last night? Did you have a good time at Rosebuds?
The one time I will take a lineup card to home plate after an ejection is if I said something totally inappropriate to apologize. And I've done that.
Nice.
I've done that. Yeah, I mean, it's not that cool. I mean, the things that I say are pretty bad. So I really feel poorly about myself when I do something like that. It happened more in the minor leagues. And I had like 6 ejections or 7 in one rookie league season, which is like 70 games. That's 1 every 10 games. So I've actually, and with all these new rules, it's very difficult to get ejected anymore. It's balls and strikes primarily. But Joe West, listen, he's still one of the best umpires in baseball. I'm here to tell you that. He is. He's one of the best. And again, if you really roll back the tape, the colorful umpire was a big part of this game for so many years. We talk about Bruce Fremming. Bruce was a trip also. I love Doug Harvey. He was outstanding. Joe Brinkman, Kenny Kaiser. All these dudes. Who was the big guy? Ron.
Ken Kaiser used to sit at first base like this.
Yeah.
And he'd sit there like this. And if they'd ask him if he went or didn't go, if he didn't go, he'd go.
That's it.
And the best was if he ended it to end an inning and he'd go, did he go? He'd go, and then just turn around and walk away.
Seriously, those guys added a lot of flavor to the game. They really did. So I do think Joe's one of the last that really has that within him. Sometimes, you know, it goes a little bit too far, but I'll defend him, man. He's really good at what he does. When he's on the field, things do seem to progress rather well. He has his moments, don't get me wrong, but that kind of color, the game needs that kind of color, and I love him for that.
Awesome. Well, we love you here in Chicago. The fans love you. We're lucky to have you as the manager of the Chicago Cubs. Everybody, warm round of applause for the manager, Joe Maddon. Thank you, Joe.